All right, what you're about to see is the most aesthetically pleasing, downright sexiest neighborhood in all of Bend. In fact, all of Central Oregon. You're gonna wanna stick around. We're gonna bring you more in just a second. Hey everybody, we are here at the grand opening celebration of the Discovery Corner Plaza. This is the hub, the center, the core of Discovery West. It is now open. We've got retail spaces here. There are actually Sparrow's going to be here. They're actually going to have a spot here. There's some skincare places here. There's a bunch of different stores that are going to be opening in this area, and it's a really cool part of this neighborhood. It's the center, like I've already said. So, just like that, we're gonna go ahead and talk about Discovery West for just a second. Now, Discovery West is all about discovery, and the theme of this neighborhood is the women of discovery. So if you're looking around here, you'll see street names that are people's names. These are all women of discovery. We're talking everything from explorers to doctors to scientists to even astronauts. The women of discovery are at the heart and theme of this neighborhood. Let's hit rewind for a second and give you a recap of Discovery West. Discovery West is, it's a lot like, how do I explain this? Well, it's like a sequel to Northwest Crossing, if you're familiar with Northwest Crossing. This is like Northwest Crossing 2.0. Now, it's its own neighborhood. It's approximately 245 acres. It's got its own entrance, its own theme, and it's its own master plan neighborhood. And let me tell you something, it is impressive. Now, it's hard to really know where to point the blame here. One, you've got the developer, Brooks Resources. I mean, they are well known across the nation for their development. I mean, you can name almost any single development in Central Oregon that you really like, and there's a really good chance it's going to be a Brooks Resources development. They have had the golden touch for decades, and their roster is deep with incredible neighborhoods. So they have this uncanny ability to design and thoughtfully lay out a community unlike any we typically see. I have heard them give presentations directly, and the level of thoughtfulness and detail that they put into all of their developments is just uncanny. But the second thing that really makes this neighborhood special are the builders. You can't just be any builder and come in here. In fact, there's a Builders Guild, which is like a special club. If you're not in the guild, you don't get to build in Discovery West. They pick these builders very carefully based upon their history and their level of skill in building. And it's pretty cool because they all push each other. Nothing's too boring, nothing's too stale. They don't make cookie cutter homes. In fact, they rarely repeat builds anyways. They rarely repeat the same type of home. Sometimes they've got a tour homes winner that's a stunner and people want it, so they end up building a couple more. But the point is that the guild here really encapsulates all that is great with Discovery West. That's why these homes are so incredible. You've got the developer on one hand, and you've got the builders on the other. So let's talk about different building styles that we have in here, because just like we have a whole bunch of different builders, 20 I believe, we also have a bunch of different housing styles. It's not all just the traditional, front load household, like single family household. All told, when finished, Discovery West is gonna have around 700 different residences. And because it is a master plan community, it had to go through an extensive and rigorous review period with the city of Bend. And it had to comply with all of their requests and requirements, which means we have a few different types of housing. So first off, we have a large number of, we'll call them alley-loaded homes where the garage is in the back, and it's got just an incredible front sidewalk curb appeal. I mean, just look at it. Would you look at it? Then there are, of course, the front-loaded houses, right, with the garages in the front. Those are typically on slightly larger lots that also provide room for a decent-sized backyard. Now, we have talked about those two different kinds of housing in a lot of our other videos in the past, but the cool thing about this phase, and we're in phase 4 right now, is that we're approaching the center of the neighborhood where we're required to have some of those different housing styles. So let's talk about some of those. These here are the townhouses. These big, beautiful, white stucco face things right here. These are awesome. On the inside, they're absolutely gorgeous. Now, half of them on one side of the road are built by Curtis Homes, and the other half on the other side are built by Structure. There's little, small differences in their size and their square footage, but they are incredible products. Now, maybe if you aren't into pets, you don't need a yard, this is perfect, right? Because there really isn't much yard. Or maybe you do have pets, but you know, walking's your thing and you're gonna take your pet out for a walk every day. That's great. These things here, man, they make quite a statement as you're coming up the hill from the entrance, going right into the heart of the plaza there. They're really awesome, but I do have to say this, there's only a few left. So, you know, let us know. Cottages. Now, there are cottages here in Discovery West called the 9. There's 9 of them. And they are 1,000 to roughly 1,200 square feet, and they all are alley loaded, and the front of them all kind of basically face towards the middle. There's this nice green space here. It's still dirt, but they're gonna get it landscaped here soon. There are single level 2-bed, 2-bath units, as well as 2-story 2-bed, 2-bath units. Now, these are built by Greg Welch, who is a very well-known builder here, probably one of the best well-known builders in all of the area. I hope all of the other builders don't see this and hold a grudge. Anyway, he builds a really fantastic product, and but they're going fast because, like I said, there's only 9 of them. Terrain Muse. Muse is a funny word. What a muse, right? Well, actually, as it turns out, Muse back a long time ago were like living quarters above horse stables, and really back in the old days when like everybody got around on horses. So like in the middle of town, there were horse stables, and they had Muse, the living structures, above. We don't have horses here, of course. But the Muse is throwback to those kinds of housing. Now, there's 2 different versions here in Terrain. One with a primary suite on the main level, and then the rest of the whole living area is up, and another version where there's actually a small ADU suite on the bottom and the rest of the structure on the second level. So if you are interested in any of these options, reach out to my team. We would love to give you your own personal private tour. Now, let's talk about the rest of the neighborhood. Oh yeah, and for the first time ever, I gotta mention this. Discovery West is actually offering, this is the first time ever for Northwest Crossing or Discovery West, they're actually offering short-term rentals here at Discovery Corner. Now, you can't buy them, but you can stay here on a nightly basis. It's something they've never done before. It's pretty unique, it's pretty interesting. Now, this neighborhood does have an HOA, but it's very affordable at only $250 per year. It also has an ARC, which stands for Architectural Review Committee, which is just kind of like a way, that's how they keep everything looking really nice in the neighborhood. It kind of keeps all the neighbors from, you know, wanting to do something kind of crazy like paint their house bright pink or something. Another thing that's important to know is that Discovery West is built on what's kind of known as a transect model. And they did that, what that means essentially is that the further and further it spreads out to the west, right, into the forest, the lot sizes become bigger and bigger, which means that homes are fewer and fewer between. So as this neighborhood now grows from the center, the plaza, the Discovery Corner, outwards towards the east, these home lots are gonna get bigger and bigger, which is really great for fire mitigation. In fact, DW has been designated as a firewise community with specific criteria for using certain building materials and landscape restrictions that keep combustible fuels to a minimum. So here we are in phase 4, and like I already mentioned, with this transect model, things are gonna begin to spread out a little bit. Phase 4 was all about condensed, it was in the center of the hub, but now we're getting into phase 5, which is where we're gonna start spreading out. In fact, phase 4, I think there was only 19 actual homes, single-family homes, but then they had all the different housing styles that we've already discussed. Phase 5 has 54 single-family residences, front-loaded, coming to phase 5. So very exciting. We're about to get back into building some of those bigger homes. Now there's a couple different ways that you can buy your dream home here in Discovery West. One would be, to pick your own lot, pick your own builder, guild builder that is, and you go through the process like that. Number two would be to pick one of the beautiful, lovely spec homes that they have that are like pre-sales. They're out here, you can buy them as they're being built, and sometimes you can put in your finishing touches and sometimes you can't. The home's already built. I guess the third way would be to buy a resale, because we are starting to see some of those pop up from time to time. But yeah, in either case, you know how it works. If you are interested in buying here in Discovery West, we know all about it. We know the builders, we know the lots, we know most of the agents here. So let us know if that's something that you guys are interested in. All in all, this is an incredible neighborhood full of beautiful homes on the most desirable side of town, full of amazing amenities, close to parks, trails, shopping, schools, and more. So you know how this works. If you were looking to buy or sell specifically in this area, especially in this area, because of this video, we would love to be your local real estate resource of choice. We know the builders, we know the developers, we know many of the other agents, and we look forward to helping you buy your dream home here in Discovery West. You can reach out to us at crownrealestate.com, and we will see you over in the next video.